Hello, welcome back to my channel. My apologies for going live a bit late. I will shift the blame onto Connect. It's my fault. I was home late. Hello, big up to Wim already in here. So, Connect, you had already talked a bit about Juventus, so let's continue from there. 5-2 or 2-5. I'm not sure how the scores are seen here, but a big win. 3 goals, and at some point it was 5-1. Man City was dominant from what I can see in statistics. You've seen the full game, I imagine.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, to be fair, from the get-go, it was good. Scoring after 9 minutes was nice. Silly error from Edison. Just a misplaced pass from a goal kick, really. And Juventus capitalised. But other than that, we were very much on top. It was very much controlled. Felt like everyone put a decent shift in. And yeah, overall, I was really, really happy. Savinho, probably one of his better games in a City shirt. Doku as well to be found on the opposite flank performing. And substitutes also coming off the bench having a good impact. Foden got a goal, Haaland got a goal. I think that was it for the subs in terms of the goals. Aït-Nouri at left back. That was my first game watching him 90 minutes at left back because I didn't watch the 2 a.m. match. I wasn't watching that.
Let's be honest, nobody did. Except Luke. But he's a billionaire over in, what is it, Crete or whatever he's saying?
Somewhere in Greece, wasn't it? Yeah. But from what I saw right now, he looked really, really sharp, and Reinders too, who played. But the biggest positive for me was seeing a Rodri start, and a start that was good too. I didn't think he'd play. I thought maybe we'll save him for the latter stages, but no, he got the start against a good team, and he's obviously not back to his normal self yet, but I don't think anyone can expect him to be. But it was pretty good, and he was doing those nice Rodri passes that we have grown to love over the years.
Speaking of Rodri passes, there was someone playing next to Rodri who was making the same kind of passes.
Reinders would have been next to him. Yeah, Reinders. He looks top. He looks like the real deal. Those two in a pivot together. Once Rodri's back to full fitness and everything, that is going to be an insane pivot duo. Call it what you want. It's going to be joyful to watch that pivot and just watching that in full motion. Two just top midfielders who are near enough masters of their craft. Rodri himself pulled in, I think in the season that won in the Ballon d'Or, I think he pulled in 20 goal contributions for City. And Reinders last season, for AC Milan, his best season, he pulled in 20 as well. I'm not predicting that they'll both get 20, but even if they both got 15, that's still 30 goal contributions from our pivot alone, which is more than our midfield probably could provided last season. To be fair, and then it takes the stress off the attackers a bit more, but it also. But the attackers, I think they're going to step it up this season because of how strong our pivot is. You're obviously going to see us play a lot more forward.
Who out attackers are this season? We've got Omar Marmoush, who's backed 47 GA club alone, I believe, something like that.
Yeah.
Sherky, who's just ridiculous. But he's fat, guys. He's fat. Okay, who cares? We've got, Erling Haaland, who scored 40 goals in a bad season. Short. Ridiculous. But how do you score 40 goals in a single season and people are trying to slander you?
It just goes to show, the levels. Because, 40 goals for most strikers in the world, they take that, and that is probably their best season they'll ever have.
That's better than any season Aguero has had if you're looking at pure numbers.
Yeah, literally. 40 goals in a season for a striker, your average striker, is incredible. But because of how good Haaland is, if he's not getting 50 up and whatever, he's getting all that from rival fans. For me, 40 goals in a season from any player is just huge, and especially from our striker. We should only be thankful for that.
By the way, does the Club World Cup count as this season as in 24-25, or does this count as 25-26?
I think Dazen, the guys running it, are counting it as the season just gone. In my head, I'm counting it as this season coming. As
Was that your Discord or mine, by the way?
that was mine. Counting it as last season, but in my head, we're wearing the new kit. The Premier League's over, and everything like that. The Champions League's over too. In my head, it's 25-26. So I guess it depends on who you ask, really. But for me, it's 25.
You know why it feels like a different season? Because we're a completely different team. That's why it feels like a different season to me.
I mean, yeah, new coaching staff, new players. No even Kevin De Bruyne here. It's all different, and I'm excited to see the direction we go. Just as I am a bit nervous, I don't want us to get it wrong, especially after all this. So it's an exciting season coming, I feel, for all City fans, hopefully. And I just hope that we're hitting the heights that we know we can. I'm loving the dynamic of the coaching bench at the moment as well.
I saw some clips from Call of Duty. I'm not sure if you saw them.
I saw the clip that sticks out to my mind is Pep Linders and Colo Touré and Pep, celebrating, giving each other high fives, basically. It just feels like it's a really strong, connected coaching staff, and they've been in the job for less than a month, a couple of weeks. So I'm really excited the direction it's going. I really hope we just continue as we have started.
Yeah, for me, the biggest thing is the coaching staff looks alive. It's not just Pep Guardiola sitting on a bench and dead. When we concede, Pep Guardiola is reacting instead of laughing on the bench. The coaching staff is reacting. Whereas last season, I feel like if he conceded a goal, Lino, he was hiding. He was like, I don't want to get traded by Pep. And this coaching staff, when we concede a goal, they stand up and they say something, which that's just so much better. By the way, from chat here, why aren't you live streaming the games? Well, I'm not doing watch-alongs because I don't think the Club World Cup should exist as a competition. I think it's a fraud competition, and I'm not going to watch it. Except for the clips that pass on my Twitter feed because they're inescapable. You know what's funniest here? The clips that come up the most aren't the best goals, because I know Savio scored a great goal because everyone says he did. I haven't seen it yet. But the clip that keeps coming up is the Doku goal because people keep rapping Doku. Funny how that goes, isn't it? Funny how Twitter goes. But yeah, I don't believe that Club World Cup should exist as a competition. That's why I don't do watch-alongs. Connect does do watch-alongs though, so there's a reason to check out his channel if you haven't already. Lucanio, is that how you pronounce that name? Lucanio Vallant, I think is how you say it, of Groningen to Feyenoord. Okay, Juventus staying humble. Now, let's leave that for Arsenal. Imagine if we smash Arsenal 5-1.
Seems we will be there.
Big up to Glimt as well. What right backs do you guys want most for the City? Well, on that, I want to ask you about that later, actually, but let's talk about it now. Pep Guardiola said something along the lines of Matheus Nunes is exceeding my expectation. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact words, but that Matheus Nunes was playing very well. What do you think from that?
I'm very impressed with Nunes. I really appreciate the job he did at right back last season. He filled in for a position we needed it, and I always like it when a player does that. And this season, it's obviously a role that he seems to have probably taken on a bit more as more than just filling in. But for me, we should still be looking for an out-and-out right back. I'm more than willing to keep Nunes as a rotation right back. Someone to fill in, help the minutes. Last thing I want is signing someone maybe like Livramento. And then we play him until his legs fall off, and then we lose him for a few months. I think Nunes is perfectly good enough to be like that solid rotation player, that player that's always reliable off the bench, filling in at right back. He's exceeded my expectations at right back because, to be honest, I didn't have much faith in him. After his first season, then he played in midfield a little longer, wasn't really impressing. But then he's gone to right back and really has proved to be an asset there. But I still think that we shouldn't settle for a makeshift job, and we should still go for an actual right back, whether it be Livramento or whether it be someone else. And look, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we don't sign anyone, and maybe Mateus Nunes does a fine job, and we don't look back. But me personally, we should still be looking to sign Livramento, especially if we get to the late stages of this competition. Because I saw that Chelsea have earned, so far in the Club World Cup, they've earned about 35 million just from their results and whatnot. And I think they got about 6 million due to the 2 wins they got, and they've had like 28 million because they're participating. We're probably similar, okay, maybe even more because we won all 3 of our games. That's already one of our players paid for. Depending on, and if we go on to win it, it's 100 mil. That's basically our 3 signings paid for so far, meaning you can go big on signing someone else. And I don't mind going big on signing someone as long as it's the right guy. And so if that's what we got to do for Livramento, then I really don't mind.
Once in a while, you know what this would mean? Once in a while, you do have to pay big. Like it's very nice to get Reinders, Aït-Nouri, Cherki all in for very cheap prices. You can't get all of these players, these cheap prices. If Hugo Viana manages to get a homegrown right back who is similar profile to Livramento, who is as good or better as Livramento, for a lower price, just call the Etihad after him. Call it Viana Stadium, because at that point he's on the impossible. Because it's not just that he would have done it for the right back. He's done it for 3 players already. 2 midfielders, or winger. Is Cherki a midfielder or winger? I don't know. And then he's done it for the left back as well. If he does it for the right back too, that's mental, isn't it? That's mental.
So far, he's done a fine job and has really shown his qualities from what he was able to pull off at Sporting. And like you said, if he manages to do all that...
Yashari rejected AC Milan, I just see from chat. So Yashari, the Rangers replacement for AC Milan, he's rejected them.
He's waiting for the City move next season.
Potentially.
Oh, that'd be good.
Sorry, I get got shoved there.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring back my thoughts. What was it?
You were saying something about Livramento?
Viana's done a great job so far. And if he manages to bring in Livramento for a cheap fee, or a right back of his quality who's homegrown, like you said, give him what he wants, pay him what he wants, you know. Genuinely, build him a statue. And he's done insane business so far.
Statue speedrun at Man City.
Yeah, less than a year. He's done insane so far, and I hope if he brings in a right back too for an incredible fee, just fair play at that point, just incredible.
For me, there's multiple right backs that I'm looking at. Should we fail to get Livramento, because of course, Livramento, it's not a given. I think it happens if we win the Club World Cup, by the way. If we win the Club World Cup, I think we'll get Livramento. If we don't win the Club World Cup, I don't think we'll get him. I think it's that simple. The Club World Cup has already paid for Cherki, by the way, because we got to the round of 16. We already got 30 million back, which is what we paid for Cherki. So that's ridiculous, isn't it? Brentford got a Thomas Frank replacement, by the way. I'm not sure who it is, though. Who is the new manager to him? Because you do say they got a new manager, but you don't say who it is. Anyhow, the right backs I'm looking at, should we not get Livramento, are Ola Aina, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I know he's Man United, nobody cares. If he's good, this is thing, yeah. If a Man United reject comes to Man City and becomes better for Man City than for Man United, that's a win. That's a massive win. It's like, you're the best player to play at Man City. How do you respond to that if you're a Man United fan? You don't. And I know you don't, because Ryan Giggs is a Man City player who went to Man United, and they said the same thing to us. The best Man City player plays at Man United. And we could say anything to that. Anyhow, as I was saying, so I've got Ola Aina, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I've got Matty Cash, and I'm still thinking about other players there to add. Should we not get Livramento? But I'm looking for the homegrown right back under 30 who is decent at least.
Yeah, they're not awful options. They're obviously not the Livramento we're looking for, but yeah, they're not bad options. I think out of all of them, what was it? Wan-Bissaka, Matty Cash, and Ola Aina.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on whether West Ham have only had Wan-Bissaka through the door for like a year, so it depends on whether they'd be willing to sell, maybe, and if he wants to come to us.
So for me, the list is option A is Livramento, option B is Ola Aina. Do we agree on that?
I can go with that.
Option C for me is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because he's younger than Matty Cash, but I think he's equally good. And then option D is Matty Cash, simply because he's older than Wan-Bissaka, but I think they're about the same level. I'm also looking at Henselwood, but he's a left back, so I mean, you can play him right back, you can do it, but is it the same quality? Henselwood is also very young, like we're already adding a lot of young players. I believe Henselwood is 20, correct me if I'm mistaken, but yeah, a very young player, so he's also one that I'm interested in. I've not seen enough of him to really say I want him. I just need to see more of him, which is good because he plays in the final against Germany in the under-21 Euros. That's tomorrow. So I'm going to be watching that, mostly because of Nicolo Tresoldi, who's been dog shit every time I watched him. We've signed another tackle striker. We keep doing this, bro. It's magic. We have a team that could comfortably get top 4 in the Premier League in every position, and then we put the worst striker imaginable in there and fuck up everything we've built. And the manager will play him every time. It's wild. If Gundo leaves, we can sign Munoz. I don't agree, because we need to get more homegrown in than we need to get out. So if we get 3 homegrown out, we need to get 4 homegrown in. If we get 4 homegrown out, we need to get 5 homegrown in. So I disagree with that.
Yeah, homegrown. It is looking like a potential issue, especially with the amount of homegrown players that are linked with going. You know, Jack Grealish and John Stones just popped to mind instantly. And I know he's not really a part of the squad, but Calvin Phillips hopefully on the way too, because like it or not, he is homegrown.
Keep praying. We'll be paying those wages until his contract runs up.
Gosh.
Maybe you can know Calvin Phillips out to AC Milan. That will be their Rangers replacement.
What an insane... What AC Milan fans just watching that, they would... I think that would just make them question like everything if Calvin Phillips was their Rangers replacement. Calvin Phillips and an aging Luka Modric.
But Tottenham Hotspur got what is his name? Matthijs Stel as their Harry Kane replacement. So some clubs they operate in strange ways. You know what? I feel very sorry for anyone who's not a Man City, Bayern München, or Real Madrid fan, or Barcelona fan. PSG, I guess you can include as well, but PSG gets banned a lot because McDonald's League. But those 5 clubs are the only ones who have world-class boards, let's be honest.
Yeah, and that's why you'll see them at the top for ages. You know, I know City are a bit more recent onto the team, but you should have to look at Real Madrid and have a look at their success over the years. Always got the top players in. You know, they're just well run from top to bottom. Barcelona, they've got like the most. I know they have financial issues, but they've got like the most insane academy going. You know, I swear, new guys popping out every year.
I think you know what they do, yeah. You know what they do. It's like on FIFA career modes when you make your own character and you just make it have the highest stats in everything you can, and you can only get it to 65 when you start out, but you get it all to 65. Then you play FIFA career mode at the end of the season. You're 80 rated.
I mean, yeah,
Keep spamming the same training drills as well.
absolutely. That's the way. Oh man. And then PSG, they just, they really nailed it with that midfield of Joao Neves, Vitinha, and I can't remember the other guy, but they've got Nuno Mendes at left back as well. Fabian Ruiz, there you go. Fabian Ruiz, Nuno Mendes at left back as well, who's being rated as like the best left back in the world at the moment.
Which I disagree with, by the way.
I haven't seen enough of him, if I'm honest, to say it, but
I think he's a very good left back. But you know what the problem is with Nuno Mendes? He's had one good season and everyone is saying he's the best left back in the world. If he does it 3 years in a row, sure. But one good season doesn't make you the best left back in the world, in my opinion. I still think Theo Hernandez is better than him. I don't rate Gvardiol as a left back, to be honest, but Robinson from Liverpool was very good, but he's on the decline, of course. So it's difficult to think of a good left back. And Nuno Mendes is a very good one, but that does make him the best yet. Because to be the best, you need to be distinct above others. It's like when people say, who is the best midfielder in the world? Does one midfielder stand out beyond all other midfielders, excluding Rodri because he's injured right now? I would say no, personally.
Yeah, a few years ago would have been easy.
Yeah.
But, well, even a season and a half ago would have been easy. But
So the point I'm trying to make here is I don't like terms like the best left back in the world, the best right back in the world. It's like, I mean, if they do it 3 years straight and they're 3 years straight, no competition, then sure. But like for one good season, I mean, we do this a lot, don't we? And then the next season they don't exist. Cue Dele Alli.
Yeah.
Ousmane Dembele was so good at Dortmund as well. Best young right winger in the world. Look at what he did at Barcelona. Like one season means nothing. By the way, from chat as well. 17 foreigners needed. No, it's 17 foreigners maximum. We don't need 17 foreigners. We probably want less than that. Because if we need to buy someone new, we need some open spots. That's good club management. Give yourself some breathing room. So it's not 17 foreigners needed. It's maximum 17 foreigners. One leave, one in. Regardless, homegrown becomes a thing next season. Well, first of all, I get the sentiment, but it's also wrong because when all your players who are now not counted as homegrown become not homegrown. Now you've got an issue on your hands. Also, we've got 19 not homegrown players, not including the under 21s at the moment. So we need to get at least 2 in without replacing them with not homegrown players. So it's not as simple as one homegrown leaves, one homegrown comes in. We need to get some out here. And if you want to replace them, obviously you're replacing them with players who are homegrown. AC Milan going to get Luka Modric. I did see that. Where is Luke? Luke is not back. He's still in Greece. He's still in Greece, isn't it? Big up to Dave. City, he says. Learn the rules. Here are the rules, my friend. Let me share my screen.
Alright.
Here are the rules. If you can count, 11 plus 8 is 19. If we sell 2 not homegrown players, we still have 17 not homegrown players. That is not including under 21s. So let's say Okay, let's say Kovacic leaves. We've got 18 not homegrown players. Let's say who else leaves? Gundogan? Okay, Gundogan leaves. Now you're at 17 not homegrown. So Walker leaving is not going to impact that.
No.
Once Echeverri comes of age, he's going to start counting. So then you're going to have to sell another one. So what rules do I need to learn exactly? If Nunez goes, you can go by Munoz, but it doesn't at the moment look like he's going. He may not. I'm not saying either way, but what rules do I need to learn? 11 plus 8 is 19. The maximum allowed is 17. We went and signed 3 not homegrown players. We were not over that 17 margin before we signed those 3 players. Now we are. Belgium is a shithole. Belgium, factually speaking, is cooler than France and Netherlands because I said so.
Can't argue with that logic.
Gustinov and another one can't remember. Yes, they are. They are. Gustinov is counted. Last season he wasn't. This season he is. We are just even. We're not. Gustinov last season didn't count. This season does count. Because he's 21 already. Look, he's 21 already. Last season, 17. Or last season, he was under 21. This season, he's 21. So he does count already. He turns 22 next season even. So he does still count. Oh, I didn't share my screen, by the way. He's over 21.
Yeah.
So next season, he does count. And even if he doesn't, if you go sign Munoz, and then let's assume Gustinov doesn't count next season. You go sign Munoz. Okay. Now, next season, Gustinov does count, so you have to sell either Gustinov or Munoz. That's not good club management.
Yeah.
You need to build a squad. Excuse me. You need to build a squad that in the next 5 years is still going to be fine. Because that's what we're going for. Young players who in the next 5 years, most of them will still be here. And that will be that.
Yeah, we've got to think ahead. Really.
Yeah. Like I said, one leaves now, then City can sign Munoz. No, we can't. One leaves, let's say Gundogan, we're still at 18. So we can't sign Munoz. This is a complete squad list. Everyone in the starting 11 is not homegrown. And if we go through this bench, let's assume Gustinov doesn't count. He does. But let's say he doesn't for your argument. Akanji is 1. Ortega is 2. Kovacic, Gundogan. Gonzalez. Doku, Savio. So we excluded Gustinov there. That's 7. This 11 plus 7 is 18. Now you say Gundogan leaves. Now you're down to 17. So now you've got what you're allowed to have. Now you add Munoz and you're back over the limit. We have 17 currently. We don't. I literally have the squad list here for you. I'm not sure. Am I missing something, Connect? Maybe I'm being stupid here. I'm not sure.
It's making sense to me.
I'm not sure if I'm missing something or what, but no, the squad list is here. The best thing to come out of Belgium is Eden Hazard. A Man City fan saying the best thing to come out of Belgium is Eden Hazard. Stinker and hooked. You may have all your season tickets and memberships and whatever you have revoked for that one. It's De Bruyne. That's actually it's chocolate. It's Côte d'Or chocolate. But other than that, Kevin De Bruyne. Go over the night and either Doku or Savio will move on. Okay, so Kovacic will move on. There it goes. So you've got 19 goes down to 18. But United will not leave next season, so I assume you mean the season after, but let's worry about next season for now. Kovacic moved, you've got 18. Who else did you say? Either Doku or Savio. So Savio leaves. Let's say Savio leaves. You go down to 17. So now you get in Munoz, and you're again at 18. So if Nunez leaves, that's fine. That's fine. Lots of foreigners will be moved by next season. Sure. So who will be moved on? Not Aït-Nouri, not Marmoush, not Gvardiol, de Cherki, Haaland, Diaz, Rodri, Silva. None of them are moving on. If Ederson leaves and we replace him with a homegrown goalkeeper, let's say Trafford, then sure, I can see that. And then if Nunez leaves, you replace Nunez with Munoz. Let's say Nunez leaves, you replace him with Munoz. Okay, and you replace Ederson or Ortega, whichever one, with a homegrown goalkeeper. Then you're down to 18. Pep wants to keep Ortega and Ederson though, but Ortega does want to leave, so it depends on what happens there. So you're down to 18. Let's say Kovacic leaves again. Now you're down to 17. So now it works. But now next season, you're going to have trouble again. Especially with Yuma Ba coming back. I mean, maybe let's say Yuma Ba comes back, Akanji leaves, maybe that works. Hazard carried to Belgium. No, he didn't. If you think Hazard carried to Belgium, by the way, I'm sorry, you need to go back and watch some of these games. They're free on YouTube. They're free on YouTube. He did nothing in any of these big games. We are just fine, Alf. You don't get it. Akanji is not leaving next season. Nunez, if he leaves, sure. But if you're telling me Nunez to leave, Nunez to come in, sure, that is fine. But then Nunez has to leave this summer, not next summer, this summer. Tu parles français un peu. Not very good, so my pronunciation is not that bad. It's mainly my grammar that's called awful. Anyhow, let's go out of here. So, coming back to the Club World Cup. Do you think that we're going to go to the final? Because I looked at the knockout bracket and I saw Al Hilal.
Yeah.
The team we play after that is either Fluminense, it's either Benfica or Chelsea. I think we beat both of them. And then in the semi-final, I think we probably play Fluminense. They look like the strongest team from that leading up to that semi. So I think that's three teams we beat, to be honest. Al Hilal, let's say Chelsea and Fluminense. We should beat all three of them. So that's into the final.
Yeah, we're definitely on the right side of the board in terms of a solid path through. I think we're definitely, in terms of our side of the bracket, the favourites to make it to the final, like you said. I think Inter are in there somewhere, if I'm not mistaken. But
Aren't they? They're on the other side of the bracket, aren't they? Well, 1 second. Let me pull.
Double check out. I might be wrong.
And let me share my screen again. This is easier because then chat can see what we're doing as well.
Yes.
There you go. Knockouts.
Okay,
Fluminense is on our side of the bracket. Okay. So we beat Al Hilal. We play either Inter or Fluminense, a very weak Inter side. So
yes.
Do we think we beat Inter?
I think we can. They've recently lost their coach. The side is pretty old. If we move quick and just don't be silly and give away easy balls and whatnot, I think we can beat Inter.
Do you think we can beat Fluminense?
If we play anything like we did when we last played, then yeah, I think we can.
I actually think Fluminense will beat Inter, to be honest, because I just think, I mean, don't underestimate these South American teams. Don't underestimate these teams, isn't it? They're going to be going off. They're going to be spamming the nets of these players. They're going to push up. They're going to fight for every ball. They're very physical. So playing against an older team, they're used to do very as well. I think Inter might lose big, by the way, entire game. I won't be surprised if Inter goes through, but I just think it's like the worst possible matchup for Inter. So I think we win the quarterfinal, whoever we play against. Al Hilal is a difficult team to play against, certainly. They've got a quality coach in Mr. 5-0. So Al Hilal is still a big one to get through, but I think we beat both of these teams, to be honest. Who do we think comes through this side of the bracket? Palmeiras, Botafogo, Benfica, or Chelsea? I think Chelsea personally, because, I mean, yeah, they lost to Flamengo, but they were already qualified for the next round, so I don't think people should read too much into it.
Yeah, it's probably Chelsea, definitely the favourites. It'll be interesting to see the South American teams in that quarter-final side. Yeah, I think Chelsea will squeeze through. But I think we should beat them in the semis.
Yeah, I would imagine so. In the quarter, you mean? No, it's Chelsea in the semis. I can't fucking read.
It's a weird bracket. Trust me, it's confused me before.
And then, I mean, this side of the brackets. You know what? I think Bayern München will get all the way through. To be honest, don't let Zeer hear that. If Zeer is in chat, yes. I said Real Madrid, not Bayern München. But if Zeer is not in chat, I think Bayern München will get to the final probably because. I mean, they're going to beat Flamengo, let's be honest. Bayern München went there on it. They're on it. Real Madrid is just not properly set up right now. They've got a new coach and he'll need time. Juventus, I mean, we saw what we did to Juventus. They don't scare me, to be honest. Dortmund, Monterrey, neither of them scared me. PSG and Bayern München are the only two sides, or the only two teams at this side of the bracket that I'm really looking at and thinking that they might do something. So I think it's between PSG and Bayern München. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely not willing to write PSG off, especially with how they've been as of late. There's good teams on this side of the board, isn't there? That's where all the tough draws are. Good thing we avoided it. Yeah, I think I'd go PSG Bayern to be my personal.
By the way, if we win the Club World Cup, you know what everyone's going to say.
Go on.
Everyone's going to say, "Oh, you got to the easy side of the board." Bracket, you're lucky. This, that. They're going to be salty. I'm here for it. Chelsea are overrated. City versus one of the Brazilian teams and PSG against Real Madrid, City, PSG final. I can see that. I don't think Chelsea are overrated because, I mean, they finished 4th or 5th in the Premier League, one or the other. So, they still did well. They went on and signed Liam Delap, who I think will improve them. What I think the problem is, Chelsea players are overrated. Enzo Fernandez, bang average. Caicedo, bang average. Cole Palmer, decent midfielder, but should play on the wing. He's a very good winger. They don't have a proper 10. They keep playing a winger as a 10. Pedro Neto, bang average. So they've got all these average players, and they've got very good players in Cucurella. I think Cucurella has quality.
Yeah.
But it's not like Man City, where you look at the pitch, Ait Nouri, quality. Gvardiol, Ruben Dias, quality. Right back, okay, average. Midfield, I mean, Rodri, Reinders, Cherky. If you've got a better midfield, come show it. Right winger. It depends on if Foden plays right wing or midfield and Cherky, but let's say Foden right wing, left wing, Marmoush, 40 GA, just a winter signing we made, and Erling Haaland up top. Where is the weakness in that team? Probably Matheus Nunes at right back, who's actually been pretty solid. Our worst player is pretty solid. Maybe Ederson. Ederson is tragic sometimes.
Yeah, Ederson can have some nightmares.
But I just think that Chelsea's problem is that I don't think Chelsea as a team is overrated. I think their players are overrated. Madrid are way scarier than Bayern. People are going to say wordless preseason tournament. Yeah, absolutely. Do you think Real Madrid is more scary than Bayern München? Because in my opinion, Real Madrid next season is going to be very good when they make the correct signings, when they move on the correct players. But right now, they just feel like such an imbalanced team, and I feel like that stops them from playing to the level of their players. It's just a Galactico problem, in my opinion.
Yeah, Real Madrid are definitely in an adjustment period. For me, maybe I'm just wrong, but I don't like their front three. I think it's, as opposed to a front three of like a proper teamwork front three, I think it's a front three of individuals, more so, if anything. You know, I don't think having three, like you said, Galacticos up top is necessarily the way to go. I think a much better front three is a front three that know each other, like each other, get on with each other, know whether each other's going to be. That no one really wants to hog the glory or anything. Not that I'm saying Mbappe and Vinny are selfish and only want it all for themselves.
Let's say it like it is.
Yeah,
they are.
But you know, my favourite front three that I've ever got to watch for City is Sane, Sterling, Aguero, just because of how well it ran. It was so well oiled. It was wonderful to watch. And I just don't see the same in Real Madrid. They're a team going under a transition at the moment. New coach. I think Trent at right back can be interesting to watch for them because I think Lamine Yamal or Rafinha are going to have quite the time, because Doku would cook Trent often, and Lamine Yamal and Rafinha are better than Doku off the back of last season. So I'm excited to see how they manage there. And on a whole, I don't know, there's something about the Madrid. I think they're a beatable team at the moment, and off the back of last season too. I think at the moment they're not unbeatable, and maybe Xabi Alonso turns them into that world beater team again, where no one can win against them. But we'll have to wait and see on that regard.
Vini and Mbappe and this new system will destroy us, says Samir. Real Madrid is not the only one who's improved. They've still got no striker. Again, it's in my opinion about balance. When you've got an imbalanced team, you just can't perform to the level of your players. That's why Galacticos rarely work out, in my opinion. Vini and Mbappe, they can work very well if Vinicius Jr. accepts the right wing role, accepts being shoved onto the right wing. But that means Ballon d'Or chance is dead. So is he going to take that? Not sure. This is the annual Madrid is not as good scope. I said in the UEFA Super Cup final, Real Madrid against Atalanta. I don't like the system, and if they keep playing like this with Mbappe, Rodrigo, and Vini all coming down the left wing, I said they won't win La Liga. Then I was told, Madrid. People always say Madrid will not be as good. Madrid was not as good. I'm now saying Madrid will be as good again next season when they get the signings they need, because they will take Madrid. But they don't have that yet. They don't have that striker yet. They've got Trent, but I think they still need to develop Trent. I'm not saying Real Madrid has no chance. Real Madrid is Real Madrid. I mean, no matter how shit they are, they win trophies, usually. But Real Madrid is not as good as Bayern München right now. That is what I think. I think Bayern München right now beats Real Madrid in a quarterfinal.
Yeah, neither of us are writing off Madrid. I just think we're saying that I think there's been probably better Madrid teams over the last few years, and I think if there's any Madrid team to maybe beat right now, it's probably this Madrid team. You know, no doubt they'll be up there next season because they're a good club that know what they need. They scout well. You know, they do the job done and they get it done. You know, a lot of people, you know, they look at Arda Güler, for example, and a lot of people don't like the fact that it's such a high profile talent who doesn't really get, say, the minutes he deserves. But in 3 years, 4 years, however many, I bet you he will be that midfielder who is just balling in that midfield. You know, everything I've seen of Arda Güler, not that I watch him every week, but I think he looks top. And I'll go for other talents too, like Master Wantono, I think they signed from River Plate, something like that. I don't know how to say his name. He's not going to get a ton of minutes, but maybe he does, and I'm wrong. But I don't think he'll get a ton of minutes, but give him a few years, and he's going to be the player that they've envisioned him to be, probably. Not to say that they don't get any stinkers in, but yeah, Real Madrid, they're not going to finish like mid-table La Liga. They're going to be up there, of course, always. And
not Chelsea.
No. But like I've said, if there's any Madrid to beat right now, it's when they've got a new coach in who's still adapting his system, still learning his players, who hasn't quite made all the signings he probably needs just yet. You know, we're just saying that right now is the time to beat them. And yeah, I do think Bayern.
I got from the Silt here in the chat. You need to respect Madrid a bit less and show chess. Let's build up Bayern München's history in the past 20 years against Madrid. I'm sure it will give you a lot of chess to Silt. It's quite tragic, actually. You keep getting banned. Like, bro, you guys talk shit to Barcelona fans. Like, bro, don't talk to Madrid fans. Anyhow, I do have to go, unfortunately, so it wasn't too long of a stream. I've had a busy day today, and it keeps being busy. You know, sometimes it all comes down to one day, so I do have to go. Anything else you'd like to say, Connect, before we round up?
I'm excited for the round of 16, and yeah, we'll be there. I'll bring it on. Here we go.
Go check out Connect's channel, as always, because he's a legend, and he's actually doing watch-alongs to these games, unlike me and Luke. I guess we're not trying out to jump in it. But he's actually doing watch-alongs to these games. Luke, not on today, because he's over in Greece, chilling. You know, the rich people things. Vote on Luke for president. Don't forget. Subscribe to me, because I'm, I don't know, 12 away from 1K, I believe. So subscribe to me. I'm very close. Like the stream, by the way, as well, because that pushes the stream. Come on, hit the likes as well. Thank you guys for being in today. Thank you to Connect for coming on.